Hello everybody, welcome to another video. I'm Teresa and today I'm going to be talking about and sharing some yoga stretches that you could consider doing before you board either a long haul flight or maybe a long bus journey or however you're getting to your destination. I've got my good friend Becky with me today because I actually have 4 stitches in my knee at the moment. I had a fall. I'm in India as well at the moment. I had a fall last Sunday. So I'm going to show you a few moves that you could do on a chair. And Becky's going to show you what that would look like sitting on the floor. And then there's some things that Becky's going to do that I won't be able to do. But these are all just to give you some thoughts, some ideas of things that you might want to consider. Please be mindful if you have any injuries or any conditions that you're living with, and if you need to speak to a doctor before you do any of this, please do so. But it's a pretty gentle warm up for the body and just preparing ourselves for being in a seated position for a long time. So in this little short practice, we're going to do a little bit of work sitting. We're going to work through the lower back, the hips, the shoulders. These are all the areas that get super tight when we're in one place. We're going to move the spine in all 4 directions, forwards, backwards, side and side, and twisting. And we will also then finish with a little grounding moment just to settle our body and prepare ourselves for what's to come. So finding what works for you, whether you want to come into sitting on a chair like I am or sitting on the floor like Becky is. We're going to start just feeling where we are. So feeling if you're sitting in a chair, your feet on the floor, bottom against the chair. You'll need to come off the back of the chair a little bit so you can stay with that spine upright. If you're on the floor, we're sitting as tall as we can. And we'll just take a moment to close the eyes and just take a few breaths to allow ourselves to land here, literally, if we're flying, but to be in this moment in time, noticing that everything else that has gone before is not important right now, and what's to come is also not important. Now let's start to move the body very gently. So we'll start by bringing the hands to the knees, and we're going to do a little movement called Sufi grind. We come over to one side, we come round in a big circle. Actually not done this on a chair before, so it's all quite exciting. This is now going to be my new yoga practice while my knee is healing. So you can kind of keep the chin parallel to the floor. If you can, just keep the head up. If that feels uncomfortable for the neck, though, you can drop the head down and just closing the eyes, if you like, feeling that circular motion. Actually really nice just to feel this movement through the spine, just gently warming up the back, warming up the hips. I will be following up this video maybe in a few weeks' time with a post-flying video as well. For now, we're focusing on what would be good to do before we get on our big long trip ahead of us, whatever form of transport that is. Let's go the other way around. Just feeling every single fiber, if you can, in the body, in the back. Last one. And then come to stillness. Just take a moment to sit up tall, feel grounded through the sit bones or through the feet, however you're sitting. And then we'll take this into a little side bend. So Becky's going to take her right hand out to the side. She's going to take a big inhale, take her left arm up, and I'm going to mirror her in a seated position, and we'll just do a little bend over towards, what side is that? The right side. It's been a long day. It's quite late now in India. So wherever you are, whether you're seated in a chair or on the floor, see if you can keep your left shoulder back, so opening through the chest. Come back up to seated, and then over to the other side. Let's do first side again. This time we take an inhale as we lift up and a big exhale as we lengthen and stretch through the left side of the body. These are all the areas that get so tight when we're seated for a long time. Let's come back up to so try and keep, if you're in a chair, both sit bones down. If you're on the floor, both sit bones down too. Keep the feet grounded. Lifting back up and releasing down. Hands can just come back on the knee. Let's take a moment to lift the shoulders up towards the ears and then drop them down with an exhale. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. One more time, inhaling up, exhaling down. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to take this into a twist. So we're going to turn towards our right side. So I'm going to bring my left hand to my right knee. My other hand can come around the back of the chair, and I'll twist and look over that right shoulder. Becky's demonstrating that beautifully on a seated position. Quite nice with the chair because you can use the back of the chair to pull yourself round a bit more. If you are seated on the floor, so you keep lifting up through that spine. Inhale back to center. Second side. Use that exhale to bring you round a little bit more. Inhale back through center. Bring the hands onto the knees. And we're going to take a cat-cow. Now, Becky can demonstrate this perhaps on her knees. So you've got a few options here. You can do this sitting. You can do this on your knees. So I'll show you seated. Actually, I'll turn around to the side so that you can see. So we're going to start by arching the spine. So we lift that chest up and we look up towards the sky. And then we're going to round the back, bring the chin to the chest. So just carrying on. Inhaling and exhaling. Obviously, if you're on the floor and you need any extra padding for the knees, just roll up. If you've got a towel or a blanket underneath the knees, that can be nice. Good. It's just stretching that spine in the flexion and extension. Let's do 2 more each way. And then coming back to stillness. And then you've got some choices for the next one. I'm going to remain seated on my chair. Becky could choose to do this with cross-legged, or she could come to standing. We're going to take this into eagle arms. It's just the arms. We're going to stretch the shoulders now. So you have some options here. We're going to extend both arms forward. We're going to bring the right elbow over the left elbow. We're going to work to get the hands as close together as possible. It might be that it's here. It might be that you can reach the hands. We're going to lift shoulders up. Feel that stretch across the back. And do the arms. And you can float them out to the side and then do opposite. The left elbow over right. And you can work to lift them up a little bit higher. That just gives you a nicer stretch through the back. And then release the arms down. Now, if you can come to standing, please come to standing. If you want to continue in a chair, you can stay with me. We're going to take this into a standing back bend for those that are standing. So we're going to bring the hands to the buttocks. Yes, perfect. We're going to push the chest forward. So those of you in a chair, follow me. Push the chest forward, and we can open through the chest. So you can see, you know, you don't need to be wearing special clothes. I've just got scared. We've been out today doing other things, and I thought we'd jump on camera and film while we're together. So you can do this in your normal clothes. Don't need anything special. Don't need a yoga mat even. You can just put a towel on the floor. So just feeling that opening through the front of the body. So often, particularly if we're in a plane and we're looking at a screen, or maybe we're on a phone or a device, or reading a book even, we're throwing that neck forward. This is doing the opposite. We're opening the chest. Slowly and gently come back up to standing. Straight line, arms down by the side. So whether you're sitting in the chair or standing. And then we're going to take this into a forward fold. So I would suggest most people would want to bend their knees quite a bit here. Becky is quite flexible here, so you might find that you don't go too far down. So don't worry about that if that's you. You might find also you might want to bring the hands to the thighs or to the shins, or to, even if you've got a block or a book, you could use that too. Those of us in a chair can do the same thing. We're going to pull the belly in wherever we are. Becky's going to bend her knees a bit more. And then we're going to fold forward, let the head hang. If you're in a chair, you could let the arms come down to the side. Just allow that feeling of surrendering, releasing. And then we'll slowly peel ourselves back up. Keep those knees bent. Particularly if you've got any back issues, it's really important to keep the knees bent. Slowly, slowly, slowly come back up to standing. And then if this is something that is suitable for you, we're going to take this into a squat pose. So Becky's going to demonstrate this. You can go as wide as you need to. You can have the feet turned out a bit more if that's better for you and your hips. Or have the feet facing forward. So could you demonstrate like a half? This is definitely something I can't do with my knee right now. Can you demonstrate half a squat? Could you come back up and just show? Yeah, that's great. And then we just lift the chest up. Good. So maybe that's where you are. Maybe not even as low as this, and don't worry about that if that's you. Just feel that work through the hips. They'll thank you later for it. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Good. And if it feels appropriate to your body, you could even take it into a little twist here. So you could take your left hand over to your right side, make a little twist. Can you show that a little bit lower as well? We've not warmed up. Maybe I should have warned her. Yes. And then the other side. So it's strong on the hips. So just do what feels right for you. That might be coming up. If you are in a chair, you might want to just drop the knees. I probably can just about do this from one side to the other. That's also a really nice little warm up for these hips. You could cross one foot over the leg. Again, I'm not going to demonstrate that right now. Beautiful. Slowly and gently come back up. Big inhale to come up. Just standing for a moment on the mat, feeling that groundedness through the feet flying or traveling can make us feel very, in our heads, very airy. In Ayurveda, they call it Vata energy, this air and ether energy. So we want to stay grounded. So feel through your feet, maybe even a rock backwards and forwards through the feet is nice for that. And then if Becky could show us child's pose. This is a really nice way to ground. If this is not suitable for you, and you could consider putting some blankets underneath the knees. You could consider putting a cushion in front of the head. Would you mind just coming forward ever so slightly, Becky? So we've got you in camera. Yeah, good. Yeah, if you could show with the bolster under the head, that's great. And arms can be by the side or in front. If you wanted more of a stretch for the shoulders, you could bring them right forward. Those of us in a chair, you just fold forward. So it's this sense of surrendering. This is a beautiful pose for surrendering. So particularly if you've got any anxiety around travel, just take a few moments here. Maybe even exhale out through the mouth if you need to. Just let it all go. Let those worries go. Let the tension go. It is all going to be okay. If you can hear a bit of background noise, apologies. Finding a quiet spot in India, it's not the easiest moment or place, should I say. A few more breaths here. Just let everything rest. That sense of release, surrender. Nothing else to do right now. And then slowly and gently, if you're on the floor, we're going to come back up and we're going to then transition to lying on our backs with our knees bent. We're coming into a bridge pose, and I'll show you a variation on the chair as well. Yeah, so feet are hip width apart. I'll just show you the floor version first. And keeping the arms down by the side of us for now. And you might want to stay with the arms down by the side. If this is not something you're very familiar with, stay with the arms down by the side of you. We're just going to gently push up into the hips. So we lift the hips up off the ground. So we're opening now through the front body. Now push into those big toes. Come up a little bit higher if you want to. Keeping the neck very stable in this position. And then we'll slowly come down. I'm going to invite you to do that 2 more times. Those of you in the chair, you can just open the chest in a similar way. I'll show you from the side. So Becky, if you want to come up for round 2, just bring the hands behind you, push, it's a bit like the cat-cow that we did seated. So we're opening through the chest. Beautiful stretch here. If you wanted to, and if you felt you had space and you haven't got a dodgy knee, you could straighten the legs as well. You can play around with it, but just have that sense of opening through the front of the body. Whatever feels good. If you're coming into any pain, any issues, particularly around the neck, please, you can just skip this. Is that 3? Yes, perfect. And then our last position is legs up against the wall, which you could do actually on a bed as well. And I've been known to do this in hotel rooms. I think particularly because I tend to stay in places that are not always that great and that clean. So sometimes this is nice to do against a bed. But the key thing here is to get the bottom in as close to the wall as you can, or the bed, or the base of the bed. And we lift the legs up towards the sky. Relax the arms down. If you've got a tight neck, you might want to consider putting a cushion underneath the head as well. So this is a beautiful position for reducing the tension and swelling that just naturally occurs, particularly if we're flying or if we're on a long bus journey. It's reversing the flow of blood. It's also very calming for the nervous system. I'm going to stop talking and just allow Becky to enjoy this for a few moments, and please do the same. If your mind's now whirling a little bit, feeling very active, just see if you can focus in on the breath, the inhale and exhale through the nose. Now, if you have more time, you could stay in this position, and I'd recommend you staying in this position for sort of 5 minutes, 6 minutes, even longer if it feels comfortable for you. but we're going to close this video now. Becky can stay there if she wants to. Yeah, you can stay there. And I'm going to close by just suggesting you might want to also follow this practice up with my pre-flight meditation, which I'll put a link to at the end of this video. And in the timestamps as well, I'll mention it in the description below. And also for anybody interested, I've just opened bookings for my South India retreat, which is taking place in February 2026. So you've got plenty of time to save up and come and join. It'll be me and Becky leading you through some of the most sacred sites in India. So yeah, I'll put all the details below. Feel free to message if you've got any questions. And please do the usual, like, share, subscribe, all the things. And thank you very much for joining me. I wish you a safe, happy, calm, and good travel experience wherever you're off to next. Enjoy the adventure, and I'll catch you soon on the next video. You know what to do if you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe.